So, I fixed the clutch to where it works. I don't know how long it'll last. So what happened was the slave cylinder on the bottom was stuck. And when I stomped the pedal and forced it down, it stuck in the release position. So I jacked the car up and persuaded it back in with a hammer. And so now it works. She runs and drives. There was quite a bit of rust in the boot of the slave cylinder, so that's why I say I'll probably still have to replace it eventually. But for now, it's working, so it will move under its own power. So I call that a win. Still, she was running pretty good, and then it started flooding again. So still got to tinker with those carbs. Oh, and when I get to it, which not going to be today, but I found fuel line and some little rubber washers that can maybe fix the fuel leak from Lowe's. So who would have thought you'd find parts for an antique British car at Lowe's? But yeah, I'm not for 100% sure those are going to work, but it's worth a shot for 20 bucks as opposed to a $200 carburetor refill kit. So that's it for this evening, but we'll be doing more later. Coming back to it. All right. Okay, come on.
I'm not getting in that thing. I'm not making a fool out of myself.
Come on.
Not anytime in the near future.
You're going to be riding in it eventually, so.
Eventually. Well, not today, though.
Come on.
I don't have the proper pants on. I will split my pants on.
You won't split your pants. It ain't that bad.
Look, I have my baggy pants on, and my ass will be showing.
Come on, if I can get in here, you can get in here.
Not the two of us.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. Come on.
Not on camera. We're not figuring this out. Why do we have to do it on camera?
See, you just got to like get in and then lean over here and pull your feet in and then set up.
Wait a minute. I thought there was another method to this. The other
Well,
day.
like crawl in first.
Crawl in.
Yeah. Duck your head down, crawl in. Well, okay, that works. You managed to duck in through the door. Getting your feet in is the tricky part.
I noticed. Okay, come on over to the ball.
Okay, now.
Okay.
See?
You're in.
No, you don't have a door pull. See if you can use the window crank.
What? What's that? What is that?
That's to open the door.
That's the opening door.
Yeah. See, here's the door pull. Yours is missing. I just noticed that. See, it's got like a drawer handle.
Oh,
That works. Worse as it runs, it's loading up. Oh yeah. This is the weird thing, is getting out, you have to like take your other arm and reach behind you to get the door.
like that?
Yeah.
You didn't think I'd figure that out, did you?
It's a little complicated.
I don't know. You didn't think I'd figure that out.
Now getting back out is going to be the next thing.
Well, that's okay. I mean, I've got this under control here.
Yeah, you just gotta like fold your legs up and then get your feet. Okay.
Long trips are going to be adventurous.
It's not that bad once you're inside.
No, getting in and out's the fun
That's what she
part.
said. Well.
Jacked seriously. Okay, I guess that looks it.
The door, the top is kind of holding it out because the top is very
There.
out of whack. So.
It got it.
Okay.
I didn't shut it hard enough. Damn.
Okay, so after I destroyed the gas cap, I got a text message saying we found the keys. So now I have the actual keys, and there's even the one for the gas cap. I can reassemble it, but I bought a brand new chrome one. Speaking of gas cap, I just remembered the car is out of gas, so I got to put gas in it before I attempt to do what I was just going to do. So let's do that next. Okay, so I've been messing with this thing for a while now, and the back carb just does not seem to be doing nothing. So I'm thinking that what I said, I hope didn't happen, must have happened, because I didn't clean that bowl out. And I'm thinking there's a chunk of that little rubber seal and got up in the end of that little line and clogged it up. So what I'm going to do is pull this loose. Here. Slip this out. And just like I thought, there ain't nothing coming out of that. There should be fuel running out of that right now. So, now the question is whether I want to pull just that fitting and see if I can clean it out, or if I want to pull the bowl out. If I pull the fitting, fuel gonna go everywhere. If I pull the bowl, I'm gonna lose some up here. But if I pull the fitting, it should flush itself out at the bottom, and then I'll clean out the rest. So I'm gonna opt for pull the fitting because that's gonna be easier. Look, as soon as I loosened that, I start getting some fuel. Maybe I just had it squished together. Well, let's try that. I don't know if she'll leak like that, but maybe I just had it over tightened. Well, I finally got the carburetor issue figured out. When I put this back line in, I over tightened it and it was getting no fuel through. So I loosened that up a little bit and started running out. It's not leaking. Put it back together and now she runs on all of them. Still a little off, but what the heck? Anyway, but as she started getting warm, it's starting to rattle, so I'm gonna leave the engine alone for now. I think I need to change oil and put a different oil in it. Alright, so the first thing we gotta do is pop these front latches. And then we're gonna open this up. Give us more light and more access. Now, there's a weird way you gotta fold these stupid tops on these things. It's very odd. So you're supposed to take and pull them loose. Wonderful. There's only supposed to be 3 of those, and they're not supposed to be made like that. The rest of them are missing. So when I go back with the new top, these are going to get snaps. That's what they're supposed to have according to the boot. Let's see if I can get these off without destroying them. Those are supposed to just pop off there. Supposed to, like I said. This may be a very bad idea. There we go. already apart. So what you got to do with these things, I wouldn't even do this had I not seen it done. Just take this, push down in here, and you hold this, and this, and then push the whole thing down in there. But I'm trying to get down in there and clean, so we just want him back there out of the way. Because this interior is kind of disgusting. And I forgot to bring my detailer. Okay, y'all ain't even looking at the interior, are you? What's the matter with you? You're supposed to be keeping up over here. Alright. So, let's see if I can get this where I can move a little freer. So, the dirt that is in this thing is pretty bad. Plus you got sprinkles of tarp all over, and just general crud from sitting. Let's see, we're gonna put you back here. So I'm gonna do some vacuuming. I'm gonna do some cleaning. Oh, other thing I do want to point out is even though these seats look pretty nice, you know, average person think, well, the interior's nice, you know, seats are good. What I want you to note is this line right here. That is the original seat cover and welt underneath. These are cover overs. Somebody just got some new covers and put them right over top of the old ones, which is not the correct way to do it. I'm just now noticing the mice has done chewed on this welt. So I may redo these seats. They're too thick. I think they've added some padding. And with the extra padding in the back, it shoves me too far forward. So these are supposed to be very sparsely padded to give you more room. So I may end up redoing the seats, but that'll be a little later after I get everything else sorted. I definitely got to do a new top, but I don't really like the cheap one I found, so I'm going to get my material and attempt to make that myself. So I may do a whole video on that, but we'll see. So let me shut up and get started cleaning, right? So we finally got her washed. So it doesn't look a little cleaner. Also me cleaning out the inside. And I mean it's a little shinier. And I got my exhaust tip installed properly. My new gas cap. Still waiting on the tail light. As far as I know, I'm going to make my own top. I haven't found one that suits me. The only one I found for $300 was beige. And there's nothing beige on this car, so. Oh, one other thing. I want to do at least one real quick. Cleaned them up last night. Ah! So still got some tuning to do to get it sorted out, but I think that's about it for now. Later. Alright, here we are, round 437 with these carburetors. But I think what I did the other day, oh dear, well, that answers my question. I just knocked that line loose, where I never did find that stupid little retaining spring. Knocked that line loose on accident, and there's like nothing coming out of it, so that tells me what I was suspicious of. And also tells me that not finding that little retainer ring may be a problem. Because though it doesn't seem to do much, it may be doing something. And my fuel line may be swelling. Now here's the question, is when I take this off, is it going to leak more? Because if so, that means that this was definitely the problem. Which it may have done leak that out. Let's see if there's anything left in this fuel bowl. Not much. And yes, what happened was we distorted this line and smushed it together. So either well, the other side seems to be working fine. This side is completely clogged up. So what we're going to do, we're just going to make a whole new line for it, because that one is seeing better days. But in order to do this right, I probably should remove that fuel bowl once again, so that we can get a better chance of getting it right. Now, two things that I probably did wrong. One, I think I pushed this line in through that rubber too far, squishing this against the metal, and I'm thinking maybe that's why that collapsed in. Two, I probably over tightened it. Like I say, the other one seems to be working fine, so I think the fuel line is okay for this application. I just goofed up an installation. So I need to go get the piece of fuel line, cut a new piece, yada yada. Be back momentarily. Alright, we're going to attempt assembly once again. Y'all didn't see me do this once, but I may edit that out since I didn't do it right that time. But anyway, put our spring on, pull pull it back, put our fitting on. Put a little tiny washer on. And then I put our new rubber washer on that I just made. This time I cut it with a 3/8 cutter instead of the quarter. So this is going to be a little bit tighter. So hopefully that doesn't make it squish worse. But I'm also not going to tighten it up as much. So now that is totally not going to go in there. So failed attempt number 438. Okay, now I've cut a new rubber washer. Pull the spring back again, put the fitting on again, put the little washer on again, and then put the rubber washer on. Put the rubber washer on. Get on there, you little sucker. Now, holding the tension on that. This time we're going to make sure the line is only flush, and then when we tighten it, we're going to try not to over tighten it, because I think that's what happened last time. I think I just over tightened it, because I did tighten it down pretty tight. So hopefully this time, oh dear, well, you got to get it enough to stay in there. Ay, ay, ay. Whoever designed these carburetors needs to be smacked up the side of the head with one. Okay, so we're going to try and just, with that all started, we're going to try and just shove the hose back in there. Hopefully not too far. And, or not far enough. The struggle is real. Alright. So that's not going to work, so I got to take it all back out, start over. Why didn't I just stick to Datsuns? Of course they have SU carbs on them too, on the 240s. But I've never ran into this issue before. Of course these are like a miniature version. I don't know how many different sizes of these SUs there are, but alright, what did I do with the, oh, there's the fitting. Okay. Fitting, washer, rubber washer, rubber washer, get on there, come on now. Alright, flush, and the float bowl. Now, I want to tighten him, but not too much. Okay, snug. That's all we're doing, is snug. Now, before I put this stupid thing back on there, going to put the line back on, and we're going to tighten the line, and then we'll turn the key on and see if we're getting any fuel. And before I run it too much, I'll change the oil, because she loses oil pressure when it starts getting warm, and I'm thinking they put the wrong weight oil in it. Okay, fuel on. Oh, fuel off, fuel off. Well, that answers that question. It's definitely getting fuel now. Hey, well, that's a nice mess. Okay, here we go. The way that key is in there, I have a very hard time getting my hand in there and turning the switch on and off. Hitting the start position's even harder. Well, at least I know for sure now that it is getting fuel through there. Last time I turned that on, I barely got a trickle out of it. And that is sending a stream. Of course, your needle valve regulates that, but I do believe we're getting fuel. So now, we'll put that, oh, let's see. Now we've got to put the float bowl back on and put the little screw back in. Of course, that's that, and then put this back in and the screw, all that good stuff. I will come back. I'll spare y'all from that agony again. So, number 3, we're getting fuel now. Sort of skipped that part. We're getting fuel to the back carburetor. Number 4 picked up, but number 3 is not. So, doing a compression test now. And number 1 had 150. So, let's move on to number 2. Oh, that one's up there at 165. Probably would have got a little more out in number 1 if I'd spun it a little longer. But anyways, that's good. Let's hope there's not a big difference in number 3, because that would be bad. But the other day when it first fired up, it seemed to be firing on all 4, so I'm very optimistic that this is not the problem. $170.
So that ain't the problem.
Definitely not. Let's go ahead and do number 4 since we're at it.
Yeah.
Of course, I replaced the plug with a used spark plug out of a Z. That made no difference, so I'm not quite sure what's
Well,
going
when
on.
you put them back in, put that one in a different hole. See if it follows the plug.
Well, putting a different plug in there made no difference.
Yeah, but like you said, it was a used plug.
True. And it was one that already had been swapped out. $170.
Yeah, pretty good shot.
I think the 65,000 miles is actual. Couldn't swear to it, but
Probably is. Put that plug you had back there in one of the other holes. At the front up here.
Huh?
Put that plug that you replaced that in with, put it up here in one of these holes.
this was number 2, so we'll put number 2 and number 3. Now, which one was, that's a 9. That's the one that I was having trouble out of. And that's the 12.
All right, put it in number 2.
That's the one from number 4, I believe. At least the spark plug is easy to get to.
Yeah. Pick it up. Well, I may have to buy a new set of spark plugs yet. Those look like they were new at some point. I didn't really want to get the ones O'Reilly had. The only thing they had was Autolite or NGK. I don't like Autolite.
No, I wouldn't put Autolites in it. It didn't have no champions. That's what I wanted. That's what I usually run, because they have that galvanized coating on. Of course, these are champions and they're not doing right, but I think they got doused with some of that nasty gas too. Well. So today we have 2 out of 4 spark plugs to go in. But before we put those in, I thought I'd give her the rattle can rebuild, seeing as how most of the paint's missing off the engine. I've done cleaned it, so now I'm going to spray it with some random green paint that I bought to try to match the paint on the car that, well, doesn't match too well. Had some Pontiac blue, I was going to try that, but it wouldn't even spray. Old can of paint, so we're just going to see what this looks like on the alternator first. It looks very green. Trying not to do too much on the brackets, but of course I didn't mask anything, you know. I'm not gonna go full retard and paint, you know, belts and hoses and all that good stuff. But. And I don't even have the right color, so I'm not painting the valve cover either, so. We're just gonna give her a little green just to make it look a little better, hopefully. I have on order new spark plugs as well as a new oil filter, because I discovered this is a cartridge type oil filter, not a spin-on filter. Therefore, I don't believe when they changed and put that nice clean oil in there that they actually changed the filter. Now, I don't have any idea where I would find the correct color paint, so oh well. Like I say, that's one reason I'm leaving the valve cover, so that maybe I can, if I do discover the right color paint, then maybe I can paint it later the correct color, and that gives me something to go by. But in the meantime, it's green. Oh, geez. I just realized I just turned it into a John Deere. At least this will give it a base coat to, you know, kind of help curb the rust. I did scrub it with a wire brush to try and get rid of most of that. And like I say, I can always go back and paint it again, you know. If I happen to find the correct color paint. This is kind of a Incredible Hulk green. Like I say, this looked like, according to the cap, it looked like it was going to match the car pretty good, but when you spray it, it actually, yeah, it's just a little brighter. It's not as olivey or whatever. Actually, if the whole car were that color, I would like it better. I'm not a fan of this color. I thought, well, maybe it'll grow on me. Not so far. Well, it's got paint on it anyway. Any real Austin enthusiasts that are watching this is probably cringing right now. Ah, what is he doing? It's just spray paint. Like I said, you can always paint over it. In my opinion, that looks better than a rusty, crusty engine block, but looked like it hadn't been touched since 1969, because it probably hadn't. So, here was my Pontiac Blue. See, it wasn't quite right either, so I was going to try and like blend the two, but yeah, that didn't happen. I don't even know if that would work. But anyway, on to some more non-correct stuff now, I guess. I don't know. Let that dry and I'll change out my spark plugs, tighten my alternator belt. I did get my book. I still haven't got my mirrors. I have mirrors, fender mirrors on order. I think that's all the parts I've got ordered right now. I haven't put my tail light on yet. I do have the new tail light. So anyway, it's green. Alright, y'all, well, kind of hit a roadblock with the Austin. Finally got it running somewhat decent. But even after changing the oil, I thought maybe they just put the wrong oil in it. That wasn't the case. It won't hold oil pressure and it starts rattling. So I think I'm going to have to pull the motor and put a set of bearings in it. It's not knocking like you crank it up and bang, bang, bang. No, it'll run smooth for a while. Let me see if she'll fire. Okay, so the Austin does run fair now, but as I was saying, I can't let it run for long because after it gets up to temperature, it starts dropping oil pressure. Now there is an oil pressure relief valve in there that might possibly be malfunctioning. I'm not sure. See right there, she's got almost 60 pounds. Yeah, stubborn. But at least it is running on all four. I got the carburetors decently sorted. I've done a bunch of touch-ups on the paint. I still got the major ones to do, but I'm just not really trying to do all that when I'm probably going to have to pull the engine out and put a set of bearings in it. So it's going to have to wait till later though, because I don't have time to do that right now. Not what I wanted to be doing on this car. I wanted to be replacing the top, make it look nice, get it ready to ride. But, you know, buying an old car, especially one that's not running, is definitely a gamble. And I rolled the dice and, well, kind of crapped out on this one. Not the end of the world. I mean, I can, like I said, pull this engine, put a set of bearings in. It's not going to be a huge issue, I don't think. It don't look like it's going to be hard to get out. I just don't have the time to do it right now. So, it'll have to wait till a little later. Hopefully not a whole lot later. Unless somebody comes along that wants it more than I do in the meantime. But that's going to have to wrap it up for the Austin for now. If I get back to it and get to actually fix the engine, I'll do another video on it. But well, that's it on this for now. So later.